When I first met my daughter's mother, I had been caring for her daughter for 6 months. I thought of her every day. How could I not? Being a mother myself, the thought of physically being separated from your child for reasons you might not completely understand would be a hard thing to grasp. Our story begins when I learned through a mutual acquaintance that there was a teenage girl who had just had a baby. Being a foster parent, these stories are often heard, but this one seemed different. I didn't know her. She didn't know me. But somehow I felt as if I knew her, even loved her. I could not stop thinking of this young mother and her baby. I only knew them by name and would often ask the caseworkers if they were okay. I prayed for them regularly, not knowing what they were facing. After months of having this mother and daughter on my mind, I found myself calling the home finding unit one morning. I let them know that if this baby I had heard of happened to come into foster care, to call us and we would take her. To my surprise, 5 hours later, the same woman called to say that some paperwork had landed on her desk. The baby that I had called about earlier that day was most likely coming into foster care that afternoon. She said, "Would you take her?" I couldn't speak. She asked again, still speechless. Finally, I found the words, and I said, "I think I should call my husband." My daughter's mother was resistant to having a relationship with me at first. Who could blame her? Who was I? I persisted. I wanted to know her so badly. Her baby girl was growing and changing. And I wanted to tell her the things that she was doing every day. I wanted to confirm to her what she most likely already knew. Her daughter was amazing. I was excited the first time we met. I had made my way back into the room at the visit center. She was sitting on a couch in the small room. I was finally getting to meet this person that I had felt I already somehow knew. I am not a hugger, but I hugged her tight. To my disappointment, she did not hug me back. Again, who could blame her? Who was I? She didn't know me. I made small talk and we said goodbye. I felt elated. I wanted to see her again, but what I did was frowned upon, and I was later reprimanded for entering their visit. At every court date, I'd sit and watch my daughter's mother, hoping that she would talk to me. I'd be sure to sit where she could easily see me. With each passing court date, she became more and more open to me. I started reaching out through social media, sending pictures and funny stories. I was so very happy to have this newfound way to share with her. After 2 years, we had a really hard court date. My husband and I watched our daughter's mother give up her daughter. It was awful and painful to witness. I cannot imagine a more selfless act. She surrendered her daughter, knowing in detail what that meant. She would be permanently separated by law from her daughter and gave up all legal rights to her. We agreed to 4 visits a year. I told our lawyer that seemed like not enough, but she assured us this was appropriate. She told us if we wanted to do more, that there was nothing that said that we couldn't. 4 was thrown out the window. To me, there was no appropriate number to place on our daughter's mother seeing her daughter. And while I cannot speak to all situations of this kind, I can assure you that in this one, it is in the absolute best interest of this mother and this daughter to know each other. How can a relationship thrive when a number limits it? My daughter's mother is the bravest mother that I know. This has been far from an easy journey for her. What she has emotionally endured since the birth of her daughter is incomprehensible. I pray that somehow, even though this was Plan B, they can both find peace in this life that neither of them chose. Adopted kids are often told how lucky they are, I see nothing lucky about a mother and child being separated. As mothers go, I know that she's number one, I'm number two. There's no competition. No one makes our daughter light up the way her mother does. No one. Happy Mother's Day to the mother who doesn't think she's worthy, but she's wrong, dead wrong. She is the most worthy in the eyes of our daughter.